right, so today I'm going to show you how to design your business card in Adobe Illustrator. So what I did is I sketched out my ideas. This top one is an example of the back. This is the second example of the back. This is an example of what I wanted the front to look like. And then it's kind of difficult to see, but if you look here down at the bottom, I've used the hex codes for my colors. Okay, so this is what color I want my background. This was the color that's in the logo, and this is one of the colors that's in the logo, and then this is another color that's in the logo, and I can pull those colors and use them throughout my card. This was the text that I wanted to use and the point font that I wanted to use. This is all of the information that needs to go on my card. And yeah, so okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we are going to start in Adobe Illustrator, and I'm going to go to Create New. I'm going to go ahead and size this for print. I'm going to size it 3.5 by 2 inches. I'm going to name it my name, business card. And under advanced, oh, actually right here where it says artboards, go ahead and change that to 2. And this is going to give you 2 separate artboards, one for the front and one for the back. Under advanced options, make sure that CMYK color mode is selected and hit create. All right, so I'm going to go ahead by drawing out my rectangle for my background on the front. This is going to be my front side right here. And I'm going to go ahead and click there, and I'm going to change the color. So remember, I wrote down the colors on my sketch that I wanted to use. So all I have to do is pull that hex code. So if you have already, well, you should have already designed your logo. So you should be able to pull colors from that logo. And before I do this, let me do one more thing. So I'm going to actually create a color palette right here for my logo. So to do that, if you remember when we did this, we were working in Photopea, and we did those 6 different artboards and we created the color palettes. Well, this is the same thing. So I just drew out some squares and I'm just going to fill them in with the colors that I know I want to use. So this one is 1D4279, and it should give me that color. I'm going to change the stroke. I don't want the stroke on. Same thing for this one. I'm going to do this color, no stroke, only fill. I'm going to change this one to DC1, oops, D45. And this one is going to be, oops, not that. 1C4179, okay, and take off the stroke. Okay, so those 2 blues look very similar, but side by side, they are different, okay. I believe this one has a little bit more purple in it, which in the final design I actually ended up changing. So I could probably, I'm just going to leave it there for now. All right, so this is just helpful when you're trying to fill in backgrounds. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw out my first background. And this to be right there on the line. Make sure that it is that second color. Actually, I'm going to change it to the first blue, 1D4279. Okay, and then I'm going to place my logo on the front. So I'm going to go to File, Place. I already have it saved. And I'm going to drag it out. I want it to be right in the center, and I can recenter it after I'm done. I'm going to select both the rectangle and the logo, and I am going to align them horizontally and vertically. And behind this logo, what I want to do is put a white gradient so I can kind of see the logo a little bit better. So I'm going to use a circle. And again, this is just for my logo. Your logos and your business cards may be a little bit different, but this is going through the process of actually creating a logo. And I'm going to give it a gradient fill here. Let's go ahead and go with, and I may end up changing this completely, so we'll see. Actually, I'm going to leave it white instead of a gradient. So let me undo this real quick. Another circle and moving it in place. Okay, so with the white circle, then I can go to my effects panel right here and use one of the effects. I'm going to go ahead and go to blur, Gaussian blur, preview. I want to see what it looks like. I want to make it nice and blurry. I don't want a solid color behind it. And then I'm actually going to send it to the back, or send it behind that logo. Okay, so, and then I can lower the opacity of it just a little bit. Perfect. So it gives it a little bit of dimension. All right, so there's my front, and now I'm going to go ahead and create my back. So with my back, what I wanted to do is, I said I wanted this top piece right here to have a blue fill. Let's go here and then choose, let's move over, and I can grab my eyedropper tool and just click here, and it'll fill in that color. And then I'm going to go ahead and, oh, you know what I forgot to add on the front was the website. And we'll go in white. I wanted Garmin. I don't know if I have this one on this computer, so I may change that font. Garmin Pro. Let's go with this one. And perfect. Just make it white. Place it right about there. Okay. Oops. All right, so on the back, I'm going to use that same text or the same font. And I'm going to probably make it a little bit smaller because I have more information that I need to put in here. And I don't think I like the bold for this. So depending on your audience is going to be dependent on the font choice that you use. Do you want a fun, playful font? Do you want something more serious? And then I'm going to put the phone number. And they have a secondary line. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one in here. So this is all at the request of the client. And the email. Make sure your spelling is correct. Very important that your spelling is all proper. And as I go down, I notice I'm running out of space pretty quickly. So I'm going to actually change a couple things as I go through this. I'm going to cut this piece right here. And actually put it up here. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to put Pete's name right here by itself. Oops. And that can go right here. And then this piece can move just like that. All right, I think I'm going to change my line spacing a little bit. So I'm going to go to my character panel, which is right here. I'm going to try to pull that out. Let me go to Window, Character. Oh, it's under text. I forgot. Get that thing out of the way. All right, so show options, and it's right here. All right, so if I hover, it's going to kind of show me what it looks like. I don't want that phone number to be too close together, but I kind of want this gap right here to close up just a little bit more. All right, and then the last thing I need to put here is the address. So this information is probably going to be fictitious for you. So just make up an address, or you can pull something up offline, off the internet, like an address if you want to. That way it's not as difficult. I think I'm going to make this bold because I want that to kind of stand out. They need to know who they're going to talk to. And then this one can go down just a little bit. Now you need to make sure that you leave yourself enough room around the edges in case the printer accidentally cuts off some of your important information. This is called a bleed line. Okay, and the bleed line is typically about an eighth of an inch to a quarter of an inch around the edges. All right, and then I want to place the logo right here. So I'm going to go to File, Place, and same logo that I used on the front. I'm just going to pop it in there on the back and kind of hold Shift so it does not get distorted. And then up here, they have some other pieces of work that we've done. And I'm going to put the name of the company up here. Now, I don't have the original fonts that I used for this original design saved to this computer, so I'm just going to wing it and do the best I can with this one. All right, and I think I'm going to take electronics and cut that and make it its own layer. I'm going to change this font just a little bit. Oops. Maybe give it more. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. In the original design, I actually used the one that is in the logo, but for this one, we'll go ahead and stick with that. And then I'm going to paste that electronics right here and move it down. And with the pack, I'm actually going to go ahead and make that a little bit thicker. So as you go through, you will adjust as necessary, and you'll find different ways that you can improve. This one doesn't have a bold option, so what I can do is add a stroke to it and make it a little bit thicker. Okay, perfect. So I want to make sure those are aligned. I'm going to bring this down a little bit because I need to give the printer some breathing room. Bring this in a little. This one as well. I want them to be aligned. All right, perfect. Okay, so that is, let's see, my front and back. I can go ahead and delete my color palettes. And that is the front of my card and the back of my card. Then I'm going to go ahead and save this. If you look at my layers, let's go ahead and see what I've got here. So I did not rename any of my layers, which I know is a terrible habit, and I tell you guys to rename them all the time. If I wanted to, which I really should have, put the front on one side and the back on another. But let's see. I think all of those are front and back. Let's see if I hide them. And then I have this one right here. Okay, there we go. Now everything is on its own layer. Front is on its own layer and back is on its own layer. So we'll name this front and we'll name this one back. And if I hide this, yep, and then hide this one. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Actually, I think I'm going to move this up just a little bit. I know it's centered, but because I added this, I am going to move it up just slightly. All right, and then, oh, where did my electronics go? I think when I moved my line, it brought it underneath. There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save this. So go to File, Save As, save the Illustrator copy to your drive, your student U drive. Create a new folder, name it business card, and put it in there. Hit save. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and export as, I want to export as a PNG file. You guys, this is really important for this one, okay? I need to change this to a PNG, and I need to click on Use Artboards. When I click on Use Artboards, it's going to save them individually. Okay, so it'll save the front as one file and the back as another. So you should end up having W. Temple's business card 1 and business card 2. So I'm going to change this to high and hit OK. And then I can go ahead and open up my student drive and see how it's saved. Enter business card, and I have business card 1 and business card 2. This one is the front, and this one is the back. Oops. Okay, so you are going to turn in the front and the back and a sketch.